Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and I am here with my June Destashify makes and my fabric haul that I grabbed here in the month of June. Okay, so I have two pieces to show you today, but I'm actually, it's all from one of the fabrics that I grabbed. The other one, the block print, I'll pop up a video or a link up to the May video where I showed you the fabrics and my May makes. I'll pop that up here, but I had a really beautiful orange block print, cotton block print from Puerto Rico, actually, that I bought from a seller, and that fabric is actually going to be another video. So I'm doing a one pattern, two ways, or one pattern, two bodies kind of type video. I'm making the Kalispell dress by Itch to Stitch, both for Jenny and one for myself. In similar fabrics. Hers is a block print that she got that a friend brought back from India, and then mine is this block print that I got off Destashify. So anyway, that's all going to be, I've not made the dresses up yet. That kind of got pushed a little bit, but you will be seeing that fabric in July as a video that I'm going to be doing a little bit later. So stay tuned for that one. But I do have two things to show you, both from the dark blue / navy ponte that I grabbed from Destashify last month. And then I have two fabrics to show you as well. I also have a new, if you guys notice my new little setup here, trying to make things a little more interesting on this wall, things modular where I can move it around. I also did the filming the same way as far as the twirls are concerned. Let me know if you like that. Do you prefer to have like a cutaway of like me moving around right next to me like here where you can see while I'm talking, or do you prefer to have me in the outfit moving around covering the entire screen so you can see it a little bit better? Let me know. Type 1, the way I've always done it, where it's just a cutaway, you know, right next to me while I'm talking, or way 2, which is where it fills the entire screen. Let me know. Happy to just trying some new things, but I want it whatever's easiest for you guys to see, and what shares the most information is obviously what is most important. Okay, I have made two dresses here, and one of them is part of my summer capsule, and I'm actually on Friday I'm going to be going through, I've made all of my dresses for my summer capsule now, so I'll be doing a video on the my summer capsule dresses on Friday, so that will be Friday's video. We'll talk more in depth about it here. I'll talk less in depth about about this dress on Friday. I'll talk more about the other 3 actually that I made, but we are going to talk about the Itch to Stitch tungsten today. And then the other one is a little athletic wear dress that I have made up for walking. And then we'll talk about the fabrics. Okay, so I also didn't put these on the mannequin because I wanted to be able to easily show you innards and how things worked. So let me know about that. Do you prefer to have them hanging or on the mannequin? What do you think is easier? What do you get most information from? Or maybe one of each. On Friday, I think I'll have the mannequin here as well as have things hanging. So let me know. All right, dress number 1 is the Itch to Stitch tungsten. This is a newish pattern, and I'll come up closer so you can kind of see the details here. Sorry, it is dark, which makes it kind of hard to see. So this is a newish pattern from Itch to Stitch. I was not able to test it, but I've been dying to make it up. So glad that I did. It comes with the full bust front or standard bust front. It has this like integrated wrap here. I'll show you that in more detail here in just a second. And then you can do short sleeves or long sleeves. I have a Love Notions Tessa sheath dress in a similar color ponte that has like a 3/4 length sleeve. It's a straight dress. It's kind of my go-to little black dress because I don't wear black. This is kind of my summer version of my little black dress. I love this so much. I'm definitely going to make another one for winter, maybe in a print, or I don't know. I don't know if the cool details will get lost in the print or not. This was a lot of fun to sew. I was worried it was going to be kind of mind-boggling, but it wasn't. It was so interesting, and Kenish's instructions are just fabulous. All the way around the board. So it has like this weird grown on like piece here. And then on the other side, right here, the strap gets sewn into the seam. So this comes around the back. And then there is kind of a partial waist seam right here. You see that? There's also a dart. Wait, that's the dart. That's the dart, but just on one side. The other dart's built into the knit on the other side. And then there's this waist seam here that ends in this kind of weird looking piece that's grown on, but those get tied and create the most flattering ruching effect across the midsection. If you struggle with your midsection and you want to create a waist, I highly recommend this dress. I made the size 8 with the full bust, which is what I always do. I shortened it 1 inch above the waist. She has 2 lengths. She always puts 2 length and or like, well, on her more recent patterns, maybe not on the older ones, but on her, I don't know, the past couple of years, her pattern, she has 2 lengthen and shorten lines, one in the bodice and one in the skirt. So I always shorten it 1 inch in at the top one and 1 inch at the bottom one for a total of 2 inches. And that's it. That's all I do to her patterns. I'll make a size 8 with a D cup or full bust, depending on the pattern, and then I shorten it 2 inches, 1 inch at each lengthen and shorten line. That's all I have to do with her patterns. I love them. But I'm so glad I finally got a chance to try this out. Now this is a rayon nylon ponte, so it's got a little bit of heft to it. I'm going to try and talk a little bit more about fabric when I'm showing you my makes, because I know that's an area that a lot of you struggle with, pairing fabric and patterns and having different outcomes with different fabrics, even though you've done nothing different to the pattern. So the thing with rayon nylon ponte, it's actually my favorite type of ponte, is that it is heavy. Rayon is heavy. It is a natural fiber that's gone through a man-made process in order to make it into fabric, into a thread. So it's a most rayon is wood cellulose, actually, a cellulose kind of product that goes through a chemical process to then become rayon, but it's heavy. So originally it was meant to mimic silk, but it's just much heavier. Silk is very lightweight. This is much heavier, but it kind of had the same drape and sheen back in, we're talking during the war era when there was a lot of rationing happening. So one of the things that I love most about why I love rayon nylon ponte is that it's more of a natural fiber, so it's breathable. Rayon's much more breathable than polyester, and I mean, nylon is a man-made, but it's a very small percentage usually of these fabrics. Obviously, there can be differences, you know, the percentage of rayon versus nylon versus spandex can all be variable depending on the actual fabric. But I just like it because it's much more breathable and it also drapes really nicely. However, rayons are heavy, so when you have them hung, they can grow. Also, wearing it all day, body heat can also make them grow a little bit as well. So I often, when I wash my ponte that has rayon in it, I will pop it in the dryer a little bit to shrink it back up, especially with length. I don't want to do maybe a full dryer cycle on it because I don't want to break down. Spandex doesn't really like the dryer, but it does help bring everything back into shape when it comes to like a rayon, a fabric that's got rayon or viscose in it. So just a little side note. But this also would work great in a cotton spandex jersey. It would be great in a cotton interlock. You do want some spandex because you do want that recovery. So when things stretch, they go back to the normal size. You could do it if you wanted to. If it was winter and you wanted something a little warmer, do it in like a scuba or, you know, something that is polyester based. I would choose beefier knits, I think. I think you could get away with it in a cotton spandex, a little beefier cotton spandex jersey. I would definitely try it in that, like a high quality one. But yeah, I don't think I would use like a rayon jersey, spandex jersey, or like an ITY or something like that. I think that would be way too drapey. But you know, that's up to you. But that is what I used for this one. Absolutely love this dress. And what I love most about it is that it can be easily dressed up or down. So I'm going to show you now. I've got it paired with it actually on my body. Being paired with high heels makes this very much a date dress or, you know, an event type of dress. You know, I could definitely change my jewelry up, put on a bold lip. all of a sudden this is a dress I could wear to a wedding, a funeral, or, any kind of thing that I wanted to be a little bit more dressed up for, a business meeting, any of that kind of thing. I think that it's great being a little bit dressier. However, it can also be an everyday dress by just switching out the shoes and putting on a flat. I'm loving my Vivea flats. I've been wearing those ever since I got back from Italy. I just love how comfortable they are. They're easy to slip on and off, which is a must for summer. And if my toenails aren't looking perfect, that's a closed-toed shoe. So depending on where I am in my toenail polish rotation, I can easily just pop those on and still feel very summery. But I just love the versatility of this dress, and this is going to get a ton of wear. It's going to be just like my other, my Tessa Sheets dress. I'm probably going to wear the living daylights out of this. Okay, and again, it went together so easily. I highly recommend that pattern. I'm going to make another one for winter, I think. All right, my second one, I was going to use the rest. I think I had 4 yards of this fabric in total, and I was going to use the rest on a pair of pants in the fall. But I also really wanted to try Green Style Creations. They do a lot of athletic type of patterns. In fact, I have made up a couple of their skort patterns and their Power Sports Bra pattern. I love all of them. I really wanted to try a walking dress. Honestly, this pattern would be phenomenal as a swim dress as well. It has a built-in like sports bra in the top, and it comes with little bike shorts. They are not attached. They come separately. They're just underneath, which you could make them as bike shorts if you wanted to in swim material, have like little swim shorts, or you could just put, bikini bottoms, like a high-waisted bikini bottom underneath the swim dress as well. But this would make a fantastic swimsuit as well as, I got it for walking. Okay, I had a time making this, not because of the pattern, but because of user error. I don't know if I was just distracted or what. I sewed the sports bra into the front of the bodice, and that's what finishes off your neckline and your armholes. And I flipped it. Like I had the front of the sports bra sewn to the back of the top and vice versa. And I sewed the elastic, because there's an option to sew like clear elastic just to stabilize, which I did, both in the armholes and in the neckline. And instead of like trying to unpick it, I just cut the seam allowance off. There's a 3/8 inch seam allowance, and then I just did a 1/4 inch seam allowance when I re-sewed it. So I did lose some of the depth. I mean, it's a little bit lower cut than it would be, and my straps are a little narrower. I only made the mistake on the neckline, not on the armholes. I caught myself before I got to the arms, which is nice. But it's probably a little bit more open neck than it would be if I had done it correctly. This pattern comes with a full bust front, which adds an extra 2 inches. I made the size F and used the full bust front for both the bra and the top. Now, the top, and you can kind of see the seam line that's right here. While it does hit under, I was afraid it was going to hit like right across my apex, but it doesn't. It does hit under, just not quite under enough. Now, the sports bra underneath feels fine to me. Like that feels like it fits like my sports bras fit. So it is kind of cleavage-tastic, but I feel like that's probably because, everything's all shoved up in here. But it's a sports bra, and I have cleavage in a turtlenecks. So, and it wouldn't be quite as bad had I given it the regular neckline. But, this comes with 2 options for backs. I did just the scoop back, and it's got some interesting like seam lines. You can kind of see how it kind of goes and scoops here in the back. It also has a crisscross back option as well that obviously I didn't use. I used this one. I do think if I make this again, I will add an inch in the bodice in this piece here to push this seam line in the waist down a little bit because right now it's just riding up a little high, and that's just because of I have a very short torso, but that's just because the distance is having to travel over my bust. So I probably could use a little bit more of a full bust adjustment. I don't think I'll go to the pains of that. I'll probably just add length in the bodice pieces in the front, just so I can have that extra, just a little bit, maybe an inch tops, to give myself. And I'll probably leave it at nothing at the side seam and just drop center front, and then the side panels, I'll just wedge them out just to give myself a little bit more length there, and the back can stay the same. And I think that will work really well. Let's see the inside. So again, there is a sports bra that is sewn into it. I used the same fabric for my sports bra, but I did interline it with power mesh because I knew, I'm going to set those down, because I knew, you kind of see the sports bra here, that I would need a little bit of extra help because especially if I wouldn't run in this. I don't really run, but even like a brisk walk, I didn't want things going everywhere. So I went ahead and put the power mesh in there, and I feel very secure in this. I feel like everything's going to stay put where it should be. So all in all, I put elastic into the waist seam as well. You can kind of see my clear elastic just to make sure that it stayed put. But all in all, it's a very cute pattern. Again, I think this would make a fabulous swimsuit dress if that was your thing. I did do there's two lengths. I did do the shorter length on this one, but other than that, I didn't do any alterations to this pattern. I made the shorter length in both the shorts and the skirt, because that's what I did on the skirt. And then I made the little shorts that go, I mean, these are just going to go underneath. They've got little pockets on the side, which is kind of nice. So this is meant to be a tennis dress, but obviously you can use it for any kind of outdoor athletic endeavors. Again, great for walking, which is what I'll be using it for. But I feel a little exposed on my upper body. So I don't know. I mean, if I were using it as a swimsuit, I think that I would be fine. That would be absolutely fine. I don't know. I'll wear it and see how I feel, how my confidence levels feel when I'm actually out and about wearing it. I'm also really bloated right now. So that could also play, you know, if I'm not so bloated, if things go down again, then I get a little bit of extra room everywhere. So that could also play a little bit into it. So I'm going to give it some time. I won't make a second one. I mean, I don't need a second one in my wardrobe right now, but we'll give this a test of whether or not I would make it again. And I might. You're just making that little tweak to the front just so that seam line goes a little bit lower on me. But I think it's fine as is. Like that doesn't really bother me. I just feel, like I said, a little bit extra exposed in my upper body. But I'm busty, and so it doesn't take much to make me feel exposed. Anyway, I'm going to give this some trial walks and see how she does and see how much I like her. Oh, I also left the hem raw. I love doing, because this is a pretty full skirt on this, and it's such a pain to try and hem that up. So I just tied off my serged ends on the skirt and tucked them in and finished that off. So I was able to just leave the hem raw. I cut that with my rotary cutter, so it's a nice level hem, and it lies just really nice. I did hem the shorts. They're hemmed per the instructions, but I left the skirt as is, and I did that on one of my skirts from Green Style that I also made. Okay, so there we have those two dresses. I will come right back and we'll talk about fabric. Okay, so with my allowance that I get each month from Destashify, I got two fabrics. I got a silk and I got a cotton sateen. And we're going to go, I mean, my purpose with Destashify, I really wanted to try some new patterns and stuff like that out this year. And I still do want to do some more of that because I've found some really cool ones. And I've also highlighted some on Instagram that I've just come across that I would like to look into more and try out. So stay tuned for that. But for this month, I really just want to go old school cashmerette because I mean, when I grabbed these, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with them. It like popped into my head instantaneously. So I've got this really fun and funky cotton sateen and then this beautiful olive green silk, and they in fact go together. So this is that olive green color is there in this swirly pattern, and then it's that real warm red, there's some hot pink, and then the kind of that chartreuse greeny yellow color. But this is the same olive color that this is. I think I have 1.5 yards of this. This is, we'll talk about the silk first. But I want them to go as together. So this is definitely some type of applied silk, crepe. So I'm going to say maybe a 3-ply silk. It doesn't feel quite as heavy as a 4-ply, but this is stunning. If you've ever sewn with a 3 or 4-ply silk, it's just a little bit beefier. It has a gorgeous drape. I can't tell exactly, like even looking at the cut edge, but it just has such a beautiful drape. I mean, look at this. It's just beautiful. So I wanted to do a sleeveless shell top. I thought about doing the Cashmerette club pattern. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. It's an A, but it's their, starts with an A, but it's their camisole pattern. I made it for Jenny. And I thought about that, but the more I thought about it, I'm just more comfortable in less strappy things. I mean, maybe in the heat of summer, I'll do like just little strap, but I really prefer a sleeveless, you know, something that's just sleeveless and not necessarily strappy, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'm sure it's all in my head, but there you go. So with this fabric, I would like to make the Cashmerette Curso top, which is the sleeveless tank that is in the book, her Ahead of the Curve. I think that's what the book's called, Ahead of the Curve, her book. I have made that as a dress, and I would also like to make it as a tank. So I think that I would wear this a ton just every day, as well as with the skirt, which we're going to show. I mean, I don't have to wear these together. Like I can wear them separately, but yeah, I think that this is going to be really beautiful. And this dark olive can very easily go into the fall and winter as a layering piece, I think. Because it's a nice, dark, warm olive green, which, as you know, is right up my color palette alley. So, yes, so that is the first fabric, and I think I have 1.5 yards of this, but it's narrow because it's silk. It needs to be washed, but I think I've got plenty to get the Curso. Now, the Curso is partially lined, which would I just partially line it, or would I fully line it? I don't know. I may take the lining all the way down. So we'll see. I might not be able to use this for the lining as well. I may have to use another silk in my stash for the lining, which is fine. But yes, we'll see what I've got and if I can do that, fully line it in itself, or if I need to pull something from my stash to line it. But yes, I think I've got plenty to do that top. And then I can't remember how much of this I have. I always mean to check that and I forgot. There's a lot here though. It may be 4 yards. 3.5, something like that. But this stunning cotton sateen, is this not just beautiful? Now it's not overly heavy. This is probably the weight of like your average cotton shirting. So maybe, and it's narrow. So heavier than a cotton lawn, but maybe not as heavy as a quilting cotton, if that makes sense. So I would like to do a full skirt with this, and I want to do the skirt from the Cashmerette Upton dress. So all of the skirts that come with that, including the Gilmore skirt, which is one of their club patterns, but they all go on to the Upton bodice, but you can make them all just as skirts if you want. I kind of want to do the pleated Upton and make it midi length. Do the midi length in the pleated version. And I think I've got, I mean, I have a ton of this. It is narrow, but I'm short, so I can get away with, you know, a little bit less yardage, especially when it comes to like skirts and pants and stuff, because I can, even when they're fuller, because I take stuff off the length. And usually I have to lose at least 2 inches off of Cashmerette skirts, 3 inches off the total, like for a dress, I would lose 3 inches. So I think I can easily get midi length out of all of this yardage. I mean, I have a lot of this. I feel like, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I feel like I've got close to 4 yards here, folks, if not 4. Yeah, 4 yards. That should be plenty for a skirt. So I'm going to do, I think the pleated, I'm pretty sure, the pleated Upton skirt that comes with the Cashmerette Upton dress pattern. I just think this is such a fun skirt to wear. I mean, I can pair it with all sorts of colors. I can pair it with different t-shirts. It could even go into the fall, and I could, you know, pair it with some, like a sweater or something. But definitely pairing it with the Curso top as well. I think that'll be a really cute outfit, and I'm excited to show you guys what I make up at the end of July. So there we have it. Those are the Destashify fabrics that I grabbed in the month of June that I'll make up in July, and then the outfits I made in June as well. Again, you'll be seeing the other fabric I grabbed in May later in July. That will be made up and a separate video as I do a 2 people, 1 pattern type video with Jenny and I, because we are built, she is pear-shaped and I am a rectangle with big boobs that kind of goes apple a little bit. So we are 2 different body shapes. She is tall, I am not. So that's kind of, I think, helpful sometimes to show how different patterns look on different body types. So, and I'm using the same fabric for both. So not the same fabric, but the same type of fabric. So it's a cotton block print on both of those. So hopefully that gives a good, hers is in her color palette, mine's in my color palette. So we're even opposite color palettes to really help you guys see some of the different things we can get out of our patterns, especially if you're different. You know, I show a lot of stuff on myself, but if you're different than me, that helps you maybe visualize a little bit better how things look on other body types and other color palettes. Okay, guys, that is all I have for today. I hope you have enjoyed this one. I hope you get some sewing in this week. My kids are gone this week. They're with my parents. So I am very hopeful that I'm going to find a lot of time to be able to sit down at my sewing machine and do a lot of sewing and maybe do another batch cutting session. That is my hope. All right, guys, I will see you again on Friday for my summer capsule dresses that I have created for my summer capsule. All right, guys, see you then. Have a good week. Bye.